Kind of the same thing, as I said, that I did in the last episode, only this time I'm doing it with this colored cable. Oh, no, no, no! Hello guys, and welcome to another very exciting episode of JJ Plays Modded Minecraft. I am your host, Jon-Michael Booth, aka JJ, and let's get right into it. Because today, I want to look at this, wow, whoa, weird. This thing up above me. As you can see, I've made a few changes to my ME controller. So I think I showed you guys this in the last episode, the glass on the top, but now I've made some significant changes to the underside, including breaking that cable that we laid. I know I spent a lot of time actually building that cable to run it out, but it occurred to me that there are so many better ways to do things, and that's what this episode is going to be about, basically finding the better way. So the first thing I need to do is get back to my base so that I can actually manufacture the brand new cable that we're going to be using. I still want to use that dense cable, but it occurred to me that we should probably do some hookup of our ME controller with these things called P2P tunnels. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you what that is. So the way you manufacture them is actually a bunch of different kinds of P2P tunnels. The one we're most interested in is this thing called the ME P2P tunnel. Kind of difficult to explain exactly what it does, but yay! There's the achievement. New achievement for point-to-point networking, or peer-to-peer networking. No, it's actually point-to-point in this particular case. This is going to allow us to send multiple channels down one channel. Do you remember how I told you guys about certain kinds of cable, like the dense cable could support 32 channels and the ME glass cable can only support 8 channels? Well, these ME terminals or ME connections or P2P tunnels are going to allow us to send multiple channels down one channel, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a many-to-one type thing. But in order to use it, I also need something called a memory card, and that's this guy right here. So it's made with a calculation processor, some iron, some gold, and some redstone. Pretty easy. I just need one of those. But I also need some cable. If you recall, in the last episode, I planted a whole bunch of crops, and if you just want to take a quick peek at how my crops are doing out here, you will see I've got spider crops growing like crazy. I also planted some Fluix crop because I started to run out of Fluix seeds, or Fluix crystals, I mean. And so that fixes me up. And so what I'm going to do with all that stuff, first of all, take this spider essence, which is the stuff that I'm actually getting from my spider crops, and I'm going to turn it into string. Lots and lots of string. I actually already did a bunch of string. So let's put some of these things down here. Let's put this here. I don't think I need an axe anymore, so I'm going to put that away. So got our string. We take our string and we put it in this configuration, and we get wool. And we get lots and lots and lots of wool. Wool is a very good thing to have because we're going to be making some covered cable with our wool. So eventually we're going to make this dense cable again. I've already got a bunch of this dense cable, but I need a lot, and I mean a lot of this dense cable because it's going to basically fill our entire base. So I'm going to make tons and tons and tons of this covered cable and then turn it all into this dense cable. Perfect. So there we go. Now, before I get rid of the dense cable, there's something else I want to do, because this cable is called Fluix cable, and Fluix is basically non-colored cable. All the different colored cables you can run them beside each other and they don't connect to each other, but this Fluix cable is like the generic one and it connects to every cable. So I'd actually like to get some colored cable instead. So do I have any dye? I don't. What could I use? Actually sulfur I believe I can use as dye, or I could go get some. Do I have any like dandelion yellow or anything like that? Oh, I have dandelions. Can you make... Oh, you can. You can make dandelion yellow out of dandelions. Okay. So I take this and I put this like this, and I get dense cable that is colored yellow. And I have a bunch of that stuff. Not probably as much as I need, but I have a bunch, and that'll get me started. So let's take our cables and our P2P stuff and head back to our base. Okay, so here we are again underneath our base, and we're going to start laying in these P2P tunnels. I'm not going to do them all right now. I'm just going to do a few of them. So what you do with these things is that basically you kind of connect them in this way. And then eventually, when you have a lot of these P2P things put in place, then you can actually run cables between them. And you know what? I have the wrong kind of cable, so I need to go back to my base. And returned from the base, now I have this stuff called dense cable that you guys have already seen, but I also have this stuff called smart cable. And I'm going to put the dense cable in the middle here, and then the smart cable I'm going to connect here, 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 and here. And so what I've just done here is created a really complex system that links these P2P tunnels right into the main ME controller system. It's pretty complex to do it this way. Usually you do a separate P2P network versus your sort of main access network, but I learned this recently and I've become like completely addicted to it. I really love how this works. So this is the way I'm going to do it. And what I'm going to do now is basically pass this cable off to my entire base, just like this. So this is the same sort of thing that I did before. Oops. Now I've got the wrong kind of cable. So let's take our dense cable. Here we go. So kind of the same thing, as I said, that I did in the last episode, only this time I'm doing it with this colored cable. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, God, I hate it when that happens. It's a good thing I have some pretty good armor on, but that could have been bad because it could have blown up my base. So I'm going to have to do some security to my base at some point and make sure that that sort of thing does not happen in the future. That was a creeper, just in case you you had no idea what was going on just then. That scared the crap out of me. All right, so let's just seal this up. Sealed. There. There. Creepers can't get through there. They could fall down from above still, but hopefully we'll see them. Okay. Sorry. Back to where I was before I was rudely interrupted. So what I'm doing here is running this dense cable sort of everywhere throughout my base. And this cable is going to be the, I don't know what exactly I would call it. This is basically like a room dividing cable. This cable is going to go to every room in my base. And then I'm going to bridge off of this cable to individual rooms I'm using the term room because that's what I'm used to setting these up as. Basically, every bank of 32 devices is going to be what I consider to be a room. In this case, I only have 8 devices, and so it's going to be a little simple. But I could actually make more. So this particular set of devices, I need to connect to something. So I'm going to need to put some of my dense cable down. Here we go, this stuff. And this will be what connects to there. And I went too low with that. I need to put this wrench somewhere where I can get access to it. There we go. And then, rather than connecting this directly over to here, I'm going to use one of these P2P things. Yeah, let's try this. So the P2P tunnel is going to go on there, and then I'm going to use the regular smart cable and attach it. There we go. So this might be kind of confusing. If you're brand new to Applied Energistics, I apologize. I have 8 channels here, and I don't want to use 8 channels on my my big ME controllers. So I want to get that down to as few channels as possible. So basically those 8 channels go in here to this dense cable. The dense cable is still 8 channels, and you can actually even see in the little description up above, 8 of 32 channels are being used. But then over here, it passes through this P2P tunnel, and from this side, the P2P tunnel looks like one device. That's why this cable, which is a smart cable, shows that I'm only using one channel. That channel is passed back to this cable, which also shows only one channel is being used. So it's patching right up here. Now the big problem is all of these devices are currently offline because I haven't linked this P2P tunnel to any of my other P2P tunnels, and that's where this memory card comes into effect. So if I shift right click, I save the settings for this particular P2P tunnel card, and then I come up here and I find another P2P tunnel that I want to work with. I'm just going to wrench this off to start with so that I can access some of these, and I'm going to not shift right click but just right click on that tunnel, and then when I reconnect that cable, the P2P buses all connect. They're all being patched directly in the ME system. This is being patched in, and now, with any luck at all, yeah, there we go. You can see my 8 channels have just lit up. I hear ya. I hear ya. Where are ya? Where are you at? I hear ya. Very loud. Not on the ceiling. Are you up above? I don't know where that is. It's super loud though, so it must be... Yep, there it is. Yeah, come get some. Ha! You missed. You missed. Narny, narny, nar, nar. This is what I get for trying to work at night. So there you go. I now have all of my ME drives connected to the system. So now I'm ready to actually move my ME drives from my original base over here. So let's do that. Let's start making the actual transition. I think before I make the actual transition, I'm going to sleep because I don't want to have to deal with creepers in the middle of the night as I'm transitioning things over. So have a quick sleep, and then we'll come back and finish what we're doing here. Okay. So no monsters in this base. Always a good thing. So let's just take our things here. I'm going to take a terminal. I'm going to take all of these drives. Actually, if I just do that, yeah, I get everything. Perfect. I don't even need this ME controller anymore. I can just put it back in my ME system. All of these things are going to be failing on me because everything's going to be offline now. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take this, and I think I can chop this down with an axe or a pickaxe. So let's use a pickaxe. There we go. Okay. So bad things are going to start to happen because there's a good chunk of what's going on back at my home base that relies on some of these things. So let's get the ME drives back into place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I only had 8 drives. Yep, and look, they're all online. So we're all good. I need a place to access all of my stuff. So where should I put my terminal? I can really put the terminal anywhere. For starters, I think I'm just going to put it like here. Here's another interesting thing. If you use this smart cable instead of the ME glass cable to hook up your devices, like terminals, they'll actually turn the color of whatever color the cable is. So that's kind of neat, right? Still functions exactly the same. No difference. And so here we go. You can see how great this is right now. I've got all of my access to my drives, which are down there. I'm ready to build a whole bunch more things. And I also need to figure out where I'm going to put my ender chest. So again, I think in the short term, I'm literally just going to I'm just going to stick it kind of anywhere right now, because I haven't really thought too much about where I want all these things. So let's just put that on there. Let's put our ender chest on there. Come here. There. So that's getting stuff for my farm. And then here, let's put our acceleration card back in. And now all this stuff is draining from my farm just the way it is supposed to. It's all going into my ME system, which is now much bigger and split over a variety of places. So we are doing very good. Guys, I think that's going to be it for this particular episode. I hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing with my brand new base. One thing that I have as an issue right now is lighting in my base. I hate having all these torches, but in the next episode, maybe I will begin to solve that problem. I have a long-term goal in mind. Unfortunately, it's involving a mod that I've never worked with before. So I'm going to have to do some testing, or maybe I'll just do some experimenting. Let me know whether you guys want to see those experiments right in this main world, or whether I should do that stuff off camera and then just kind of show up with the end result. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. So you let me know. And yeah, we'll go from there. If you guys liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. It's easy. It takes 1 second. You just click the little thumbs up button, and it helps me out a lot. I really appreciate all the thumbs ups that you guys give me. If you love the series and you want to see all my videos, you can subscribe to the channel. You guys know how to do that. Leave a comment below. As I said, tell me what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you, and I will talk to you guys next time.